it seems as though the world is not entirely sure everything's going to be okay.
Mm.
And I get that. I
Mm.
get it.
We need more Detective Dans and Daves and
We
Yardley.
do. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, I really feel like I honestly, and not just because I'm engaged to him, but Dan and Dave, they are men of the utmost integrity and honor and accountability and a real desire to learn from their mistakes. They're all the best things that we all want to be. They just happen to be, and they happen to be in this profession um, that is under a lot of scrutiny and has made some really unforgivable
Yeah.
mistakes.
But with so much chaos in that realm, it's
Mm.
just it's reassuring to like listen to that podcast and know that there's still people fighting the good fight and who are there for us. And so, on behalf of the small town fam, I'm thank you for bringing it to light and for doing it with such dignity. I think it's important to
Thank
hear
you.
their voices. So I hope you keep doing it.
I really appreciate that. We hear that quite a bit from our fans. Of course, we also hear people like "fuck you," but we've also got "fuck you." I don't like the police, but I really appreciated hearing, for instance, the Behind the Badge series, or and we've also gotten like I grew up in a family that uh, always said never talk to the police. The police are bad, and I've listened to your podcast, and now it's actually made me reconsider that maybe they're not all bad. And I mean, that's pretty
Wow.
extraordinary. And it's certainly not something we set out to do. But I think it speaks to when you hear those cases told by the people who investigated them and all of the things that could have gone wrong that went right because they did it right. You feel like you're just glad that the good guys
Mm.
won. Ultimately, I think the part of the success of all the superhero movies and all the cop shows, like the scripted ones, is that we want to know that there is a group of people out there who are willing to restore order when the train goes off the
Mm.
tracks. As human beings, we're like, okay, here are the rules. There are people out there who have zero interest, feel no compunction to follow the rules. Who's going to make sure that that doesn't get away
Mm.
from us? And that's law enforcement for the most part.
Was there ever a thought that you would expand the medium from audio podcast to a visual something? I know to keep them anonymous,
Yes,
but would you? I mean,
that's sort of a problem. Yes, we've been approached actually by television on several occasions, and we never rule it out. There's still some interest, and it's interesting in some ways. I feel like certainly after the George Floyd murder, every network pulled almost every cop show. Cops, the Fox show, which had been on for 20 plus years, yoink, gone. And so, even as we had had some interest, both scripted and unscripted, we had George Floyd and we were still in this pandemic. And so, in some ways, the pandemic, I think, if you can say, if anything good came out of it, I suppose, buys you some time if you're still wanting to make the podcast into a television show, because for every pendulum swing in one direction and it hits the wall on that side, it ultimately has to swing back and hopefully settles somewhere in the
mm.
middle. So I do think I do believe in my heart that there is a brand of law enforcement television in the vein that Dan and Dave tell stories, with their reverence for
Mhm.
victims, which is not to say those shows aren't already out there, but they just have our fans are attached to them for a reason.